Good evening, everybody. Day 11 of the Course in Miracles. All right. So I put in the description, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily, merrily. Life is but a dream. So on day 11, it's a major lesson. It's a major turning point. They talk about in the text. If you're reading from the text, it says right here, today's idea introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. All right? Be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form. For in this idea is your release made sure. The key to forgiveness lies within this statement. And the statement of today's lesson is my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. So when the next quote that I put was the quote, just remember life is an illusion. It is your creation and you can dismantle it and recreate it at will. Now, right now is usually when people that are doing the course, because the course is eventually talking about deprogramming what you've been programmed, the limits you've been programmed to believe. And so at one point, you're going to own responsibility for what you see. You understand, there can be destruction. I think living in Louisiana as a culture, we've had hurricane upon hurricane in my lifetime, in which total devastation. But what the people can see through the devastation is how they recreate their world. Katrina is a great case in point. I'm so simplifying the process of the rebuild of New Orleans. But if you go back in history and you read what the prediction was, however, the people that decided to go into the ground zero destruction of New Orleans decided what they were going to see. And it came from what they decided in their thoughts. I'm going to see peace. I'm going to be peace. When they came to New Orleans and everything was like a wiped canvas, destruction, poverty, everywhere. And the people that have gone in there used their free will to choose what they were going to see in the midst of the event. So I want you to be very, very clear as I'm leading this and doing this and what I recommend, and from everything that I read, that this is never saying we are God. When we say that we can create and recreate realities, we cannot do that as God does it. Like, we don't create the planets and the sun and the moon. What we do have is our ability to develop a practice of seeing the God in each other and in seeing the genius in one another and speaking about each other in respectful, loving ways. And so understanding that, developing the statement, anything that you look at and you're discouraged, okay? Trace back the thought and then apply this lesson. My meaningless thought has just shown me this meaningless world. So understand the power you have. And during the practice sessions, this is how you're supposed to begin it. You're supposed to begin it with your eyes closed, saying to yourself, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And then you open your eyes and you glance around the room. My meaningless thought about this microphone is showing me a meaningless microphone. You know, I don't even think you're supposed to put microphone in it. Nope, I did that wrong. You do it like this. You just look around the room and you don't stay on one object more than another object. You just inadvertently just realize that everything you see, you are seeing because of thoughts. You have shaped the filters of what you filter in and what you filter out. Some of it was conditioned, some of it were choices that you've made as an adult. So understand, doing this process, we're moving into the week that you may start moving some emotions. You may need to sleep a little bit more. You may not do all the lessons back to back. You may need a journal and integration day. The thing is, continue. Pick it up. Continue doing it with me. And if you're just joining right now, you can join my Patreon account and get all the recordings from day 1 to now, right? You can follow me right now. You can follow my Facebook page, The Southern Muse. And then I'll go live every day this year doing the Course in Miracles. So you can just pop on anytime. You can also, like I said, join my Patreon account. And we started reading the book tonight. It's the second Monday. So we started in my Patreon account reading the book, Marianne Williamson on Divine Compensation. So if you're interested in that book and going to really look at and heal any self-worth issues you have about your body, about you in the marketplace, about you in a relationship. You know, self-worth does not just affect your bank account. Yeah, it's the whole package. So it's really a great read. It's a really great book. So if you want to join that, you need to get into my Patreon account. I'll put the link in the description. And so understand, any thoughts that you have that create pain and suffering are meaningless. Meaningless thoughts, meaningless world. And this is pivot point. This is one of the major pivot points in helping you totally connect to the truth of who you are. I'm going to read just a little bit from, like I also have been talking about Pam's book here. And it talks, so this is when we really get into some quantum physics. All my alchemists, all the people that love the quantum physics of it all. Let's get these glasses straight. We live in a quantum age where people can instantaneously Snapchat each other across the globe, shatter a kidney stone with nothing but a laser beam, and use little handheld devices to buy tickets to Hamilton. Yet in our thinking, in our application of these new truths, we barely budge. We're more than a century into this new quantum reality, and very few of us consistently use these startling new processes in our personal lives. Lesson 11, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Sounds kind of bleak at first, but all it means is I'm still using industrial age thinking. I'm still investing my thoughts, my power, if you will, in my own personal story of victimhood. Do you have a story where you're the victim in it? I know I do. I still have a few victim stories. And in each one of those victim stories, I'm using outdated thinking. Okay? I'm using industrial age thinking in the quantum age. All right. And this idea that life happens to me, like victim stories, like something happens and I'm crippled. I'm crippled in order to give who I am. It cripples my ability to be happy. It cripples my ability to be bold. It cripples my ability to be creative. It cripples my ability to enjoy life. Any story that ends in you not able to be you full out because fill in the blank is a victim story. And all those thoughts, all that energy just continues to create a perception of filters. A series of filters that controls your perception and then shows back to you a meaningless world. Okay? So we're more, yep. This warped view of reality wouldn't be an issue if thoughts were mere puffs of smoke, blown away by the next breeze. But as quantum reality has proven, my thoughts and beliefs are thoughts with emotion, right? That are backed with emotion. That's basically what a belief is. And beliefs, my thoughts and beliefs, which are then my consciousness, can and do create worlds. All people in my life, the circumstances, the good and the bad, are an outpicturing of my thoughts. This lesson is to be done in 3, like I said, to 5 practice periods. So, and you do it initially with your eyes closed. And what this lesson does more than anything, as Pam Grout says, it reminds yourself, silly as they seem, these lessons enable you to tune in to an ongoing divine broadcast of love that wants to be known and expressed through you. It's the bedrock of who you are. So, wow, sweet dreams, pumpkins. We'll see you tomorrow on lesson 12. And we're going to go deeper and release more of who we are on this planet. Much love.